So my question is, do we stay loyal or faithful to an organization or a pastor if the leadership is faulty or broken?
Depends on how faulty or how broken. So give me a little bit more on this question.
Okay, I support an organization. If I look at pictures and listen to conferences, they're doing really good. Actually, it's bomb. But I got curious the other day, and I started to look to see who the CEO is, and then I read some things on the internet about the previous CEO, and then some of the stuff that's going on. So I don't know whether I should continue to donate or my money is truly going to what it should be going to, or?
Right. Well, that's another tier of discussion, but it really didn't get me to the real problem, because I'd have to see what the problem was. I think of James, for instance. I would support James in his ministry. He's a teacher of God's word. He was Jesus' half-brother. He was a leader in the church. But he says in James chapter 3, verse 2, we all stumble in many ways. And he goes on to talk about how hard it is to control our mouth from being sinless. So I know he's saying he's not perfect. And I think every leader, every teacher is not perfect. And so if we said, sometimes James says things to his kids or his wife that he shouldn't say, and he goes and apologizes for it, we'd say, he's still worthy of my support, and I'd still write him a check and say, keep doing your work. Okay, but now if I'm saying, what do they do? What if he's stealing, right? What if he's not honest? I mean, there's things that go beyond just, the stumblings and frailties of men of feet of clay. That's different. We've got to be able to see how big this problem is. And here's the thing about organizations. Usually when organizations are raising money, you got to see what they're doing with the money. And that's the problem with ministries, even like ours. It's like you've got to be able to have confidence that they're using whatever I give them. I write a $100 check, which I write to several organizations beyond my local church. If I write a check to them, I want to make sure they're using those resources well. And if I find that it's just going into, just some slush fund and it's not being used for ministry, then I'm concerned. And that's why even on Focal Point, I always tell people on the air, I don't get any money from it, because I don't. And I think that's helpful because, you'd hope that my church is paying me enough to pay my mortgage, and by God's grace they do. And so I don't need another paycheck. And so I don't take the money